start in the Britannia Challenge Cup. Both crews are way well, but it looks like Sport Imperial Boat Club on the right-hand side, just popping out to an early lead.
3 really clean strokes right at the start. They seem to get up and running and onto the rhythm quicker than Utah crew. It's the first ever team at Henley Royal Regatta, making their debut here.
We've seen a couple of US crews this morning already. Another US team. To those of you in the US who are joining us on the YouTube channel to cheer on your rowers here at the Henley Royal Regatta, thank you for joining us, and we hope that you're enjoying this coverage. But you might not like to see this about a canvas up at this stage in the race. It is early on, but the Sport Imperial Boat Club had that really aggressive start.
And the homegrown rowers, these three ex Utah crew juniors, they're currently in college, but they've come back to race for Utah crew from Salt Lake City, United States of America. And they're not letting Sport Imperial have it their own way. If anything, they might have closed up a few feet. Both crews now into their race rhythm, settling down to their plans. By the sound of it, Sport Imperial warned by the umpire for their steering, so that he's just telling them to return back to their side of the course.
You can see quite a big steering change there to get themselves back into the buck station on the right-hand side. It's not really an excuse for it when you have a coxswain in the boat. It tends to be the crews without a cox where it's a little more difficult. You can understand, you know, when you're under a huge amount of physical duress and you're also having to steer with your foot, that things can go a little haywire, but it shouldn't really happen when we have a coxswain in the boat.
It can happen when the coxswain looks across, because they look across, they move their body and tend to steer at the same time. But also, it's that for after about 100, 150 metres, when you come out from the end of the island, that's when the wind first hits you, because you're sheltered by the trees to start. And also, as the stream of the river hits the top of the island, it splits, and also you get some funny stream effects too. So that part is really challenging. And to highlight that, if a cox boat's having trouble, let alone if you're a coxless boat.
It's still a very tight race between these two crews. The Utah crew, USA, their race on Thursday, they said they had a solid race, but they can go faster. So now's the time to do it as they pass the half mile.
Their times on Wednesday and Thursday were around about 8 minutes. In fact, so was Sport Imperial's race over Nottingham on Wednesday. But Sport Imperial had a really quick race on Thursday. It was some 15, 20 seconds quicker, which shows they've got the potential to be a really, really fast Cox 4. We'll just see if they can pull that kind of performance out today.
This crew from Utah, they're quite light for a Cox 4. Generally, you have your bigger, stronger athletes in those boats, but their weights, the heaviest in the crew is the stroke man. He's 84 kilos, but the other three are around 70 kilos, so relatively light, I think, for a Coxed boat.
Yeah, indeed, and the Sport Imperial are a much bigger crew. There's nearly a 2 stone difference between average per man between the two crews. Both taking about 34 strokes a minute. You can see it's starting to hurt on the Utah crew. You can see the look on their faces. And Sport Imperial, we talked about this earlier today, that lovely, long, languid, powerful stroke. In unison, blades going in together, coming out together, crews moving together. This is a great shot, show the legs going down. As the legs go down together, it just shows that they're applying the power at the same time, which is, again, key to make sure the boat's well balanced and moving properly to the water.
There's a very tidy row here from the Sport Imperial Boat Club crew on your screen now, over the Utah crew from the United States of America.
They've squeezed out to the length of, well, looks like a lead of some 3 lengths now over Utah crew. And at this point, this is where it starts to become more comfortable, Sport Imperial, because they can afford to take maybe 1 or 2 strokes less a minute. They won't take any power off because they need to make sure of the wind.
And you can see from this shot the different configurations in the two boats as well. In the Utah crew, it's a stroked rig crew, and you can see that the oars alternate stroke side, bow side, stroke side, bow side. Whereas the leading crew, Sport Imperial, we could see before, they have the bowman and the strokeman have their oars on the same side, as do the two in the middle, and it's what we call a tandem rig. So it's something that can be a little tricky to row for the first time, because instead of looking at the person in front of you with their oar on the opposite side, they have their oar on the same side when you're in the middle of the boat. So it's a little bit of a, I think, an adjustment to get used to that kind of a seating configuration.
It is. The Utah crew on the left is the more conventional way of bringing as we see it. So that we have you row on the first oarsman, the stroke close to us with the blade on the left. Next rower back has on the right, and it alternates left and right. Whereas the Sport Imperial crew, the middle two row on the same side. Crew coaches will generally do that for technical reasons, whether you've got two rowers, two big guys, they tend to put them in the middle, and if they're on the same side, then that's, or usually for some technical reason too, but it's not the norm.
And it is a very comfortable row here for Sport Imperial, isn't it? This crew is made up of a number of Princeton University students, including former junior world medalist Fred Vistavell and under-23 oarsman James Goebel. So we would expect to probably see them doing what they're doing now.
It's going to form, isn't it? But all credit to Utah crew. That shot we had a few seconds ago, the look on their faces, they're giving absolutely everything for this race. Sport Imperial looking very relaxed now, controlled. The number of strokes they're taking a minute come all the way down. They know they've got this race under control.
And like we've spoken about in some of the other races, they're starting to conserve now. Really important when you're looking ahead to that final tomorrow. It's about getting the job done in each of the rounds.
The Utah crew, their visit has not been in vain. They had the two brilliant races early in the week against Tideway Scullers and Stratford-upon-Avon, two big clubs from England. And they had close races too. Their race on Wednesday, they only won by a canvas. So they've done brilliantly here.
And that's what it's about, coming over, having some really high-quality racing. And to make it to the Saturday is a great achievement for this Utah crew. As you said, the first crew from Utah to come to this event, so hopefully we'll be seeing them in the future, and hopefully this whets their appetite for more Henley regattas.
I hope so.
Very relaxed now, Sport Imperial, as they come towards the line.
Looks almost like they're going out for a warm-up paddle, very long, controlled, loose. Ready for tomorrow.
And a valiant performance by the crew from Utah. They were only recently formed. Henley was their first race, so they've done really, really well. But the win will go to Sport Imperial Boat Club in the Britannia Challenge Cup race over Utah crew from the United States of America.